Today we will be starting our full chapter, that is basics of garment making. Okay. So any idea about what all things we are going to discuss under this chapter? So in the second unit, it was basics of pattern development, where we learned about some pattern development. We developed few patterns, right? We learned how to develop basic patterns, whether it is basic bodies, basic skirt, basic sleeve, basic necklines, and all. We just learned about how to develop sloppers or basic patterns of few of the garment types. And we also learned different techniques which we can utilize to convert these basic patterns to advanced designs. Am I right? Yes. So in this chapter, we will be learning about fibers. We will just have a brief introduction about fibers, fabric, different types of fabric, and few other things that we already discussed in Unit 2. And apart from that, we will learn how to develop the simple garment parts, like how to in the first year, in the +1, you might have learned about different types of seams, right? You might have learned about different types of seams. Now, in this chapter, we will try to study how to develop this cuff, sleeves, and other simple body parts. And the different types of materials which is used for developing a garment and to give that particular effect for that particular garment. Okay. So if you just consider a piece of shirt from a piece of shirt with a piece of t-shirt, what all are the differences that you can find? The difference between a shirt and a t-shirt. Yes. I will really entertain if you all can switch on your videos, okay? Yes. What is the difference between a shirt and a t-shirt? Are they both similar or are they different? So yes. Are they similar or are they different?
T-shirt is made of knitted fabric.
Yes, of course. T-shirt is made up of knitted fabric, whereas shirt is made up of woven fabric. Am I right? What about the appearance? Do they look similar? Do they look similar? What I'm wearing right now is a tunic, a shirt tunic actually. So is it similar to the t-shirt that you are wearing right now? You all are wearing a t-shirt, right? If I'm not wrong. Is it similar? Does it look same?
No, ma'am.
No. Right. So when it comes to a shirt, there is yoke part, there is collar, there is buttons, there is front placket, there is pocket, there is sleeve, a long sleeve with a cuff, and a continuous placket in the end. A lot of parts are there. There is right hand side flap and left hand side flap. Am I right? There's collar, shoulder band is there, and the collar is there. Just like that, different parts are there when it comes to a shirt. But in case of a t-shirt, no, right? Just a front part, a back part, two sleeves, and maybe a knitted neckline. Am I right? So in this chapter, we will just discuss about different fibers and fabrics, which is not much different from each other, right? So what is mean by fibers? What is mean by fibers? What is mean by fibers? I'm not going to explain it today, okay? I'm not going to explain what is mean by fibers and fabric. I want you to explain.
From fibers, these fabrics or garments are made.
Yes, using fibers, the fabrics are made. Fibers will be converted into what?
Fabric.
Hmm?
Fabric.
Yarns. Then it is converted into fabric. So based on what when it comes to fabrics, fabrics are classified into three different categories. Okay, natural fabrics, man-made fabrics, and blended fabrics. Okay, basically we can just categorize into three categories. That is natural, man-made, and blended. So on what basis do we categorize them? On what basis? Hmm? On what basis? When it comes to fibers, fibers can be man-made or natural. Okay. When it comes to fibers, fibers can be man-made and natural. And natural fibers are again classified into protein and cellulosic. Okay. So what does mean by, what are the examples for cellulosic fibers? What are the examples for cellulosic fibers? Example for cellulosic fibers.
Cotton.
Yes, cotton.
Jute.
Jute, yes.
Linen.
Linen, yes. So jute, linen, cotton, all these are examples for cellulosic fibers. So what about protein-based fibers?
Silk.
Yes, silk. And
Wool.
yes, silk and wool are examples for protein fibers. Okay. So using these types of fibers, we will be these fibers will be converted into yarns, and those yarns will be converted into fabrics. Okay. Now we have fabric. Fabrics can be categorized into, classified into three categories: man-made, then natural, then blended. So under man-made, synthetic fibers are there, and cellulosic or man-made fibers are there, which is developed from plant-based or natural materials. After mixing natural materials with other chemicals and all, they will develop man-made fibers. And apart from that, synthetic fibers are there. Yes. So fabric. Now we have fabric. Blended fabric is there. Synthetic or man-made fabric is there. Natural fabric is there. So what does it mean by natural fabrics? What does it mean by natural fabric? What does it mean by natural fabric?
fabrics that are produced from plants, animals, and
Yes. So the fabrics or the textiles that is developed from natural or natural fibers. Okay, like cellulosic fibers and protein fibers like cotton, flax, which is linen, and jute, all these things. Okay. So those kind of fabrics which are developed from natural raw materials or natural fibers are called natural fabrics. What all are the properties when it comes to natural fabric? What all are the properties? Hmm? Properties of natural fabric. So now you know the examples of natural fabric. It is cotton, it is linen, it's jute. Cotton, linen, jute, silk are all examples for natural fabric. So just think about those fabrics and try to figure out the characteristics of these fabrics, like cotton, whether it is cotton or silk, whatever it is. Just try to figure out the characteristics of these natural fabrics. So let me just ask you one question. Why cotton or natural fabric are considered as a very suitable material for summer season? Whatever it is, for summer, winter, whatever it is, why is it considered as a suitable fabric for summer season? Why?
absorbing quality heat.
Yes. So natural fabrics are having good absorption. That is one characteristics, or you can say advantage. Okay. Yes. So is cotton fabric or cotton or are natural fabrics having good elasticity? Are they elastic? Do they stretch? Don't think about those knitted fabrics. We are talking about woven one. Okay. Do they have good elastic property?
No, no, ma'am.
So the poor elasticity, that is next characteristic. Okay, next property, poor elasticity. So what about, is it okay to wear cotton fabric, linen fabric or silk fabric without ironing? Is it okay to wear cotton, linen and silk fabrics without ironing or silk garments without ironing it? Is it okay? Will it look good?
No,
Will it,
it will be formed after washing.
yes. So poor wrinkle resistance. It is not wrinkle resistant. Okay. So these are some of the basic characteristics of natural fabrics or natural fibers. Okay. And apart from these, there are certain other characteristics which only belongs to cotton, which only belongs to wool, silk, and all. Okay. So these are the common characteristics of natural fabrics and fibers. And what about synthetic fabric? What is the necessity of creating something synthetic, or what is the necessity of, man-made fabrics or fibers? What is it? What is it? Yes. What is the necessity of synthetic fabrics or fibers? Why we created something synthetic when there is already natural resources available?
To be affordable.
Yes, it will be affordable, right? And there were some disadvantages or drawbacks that we faced with natural fibers or fabrics. Am I right? So every time we were forced to iron those natural fabrics. Am I right? To poor wrinkle resistant. So they were having pros and cons, just like anything else, right? So in order to overcome these cons, man came up with the idea of synthetic or man-made fabrics or fibers. Okay. Drawbacks or cons like wrinkle resistance. Okay. Good drapeability, elasticity, all these properties, which natural fibers or fabrics lacked. Okay, so in order to overcome these things, man came up with the idea of synthetic or man-made fibers or fabrics. Okay. So synthetic fibers or fabrics are made from synthesized polymers of small molecules. Good elasticity, wrinkle resistant, uncomfortable. So is it good to wear a polyester shirt or a polyester kurti during summer season? Is it good? No, right? Poor absorption because it's synthetic. It's literally plastic. Am I right? It's literally plastic. It has poor absorption. Okay, moisture absorption. So the absorption is really poor, and because of which it is really uncomfortable to wear polyester or man-made fabrics or fibers or synthetic fibers during summer season. Poor absorption. So that two are linked. But good elasticity and wrinkle resistant are two characteristics which was not there with natural fibers and fabrics, right? So what about blended fabric? We already have natural fabric and fibers. We also have the synthetic fibers and fabric. So what is the necessity or what is the need of blended fabric? What is the need? Why man blended two things together? So now
they have the advantages of both natural and
yes,
synthetic.
exactly. Yes, exactly. So when we talked about natural fibers and fabric, they were having some qualities, right? Like good absorption, comfortable. Am I right? All these things. They were having some a few good qualities and few bad, which is not that bad also. But when we created a synthetic fabric to overcome all these properties, all these cons that we faced with natural fibers and fabric, these synthetic fabrics or man-made fabrics lacked they were having all those properties or characteristics that natural fibers and fabrics lacked, but synthetic fabrics or man-made fabrics lacked all those qualities that was there with natural fabrics and fibers. Am I right? So if we check here, so good elasticity and wrinkle resistant. Natural fibers and fabrics are not having that property, right? But natural fabrics were comfortable and they were having good absorption. Am I right? But when it comes to synthetic and man-made fibers and fabrics, they are uncomfortable and is having poor absorption. So in order to overcome these problems, they decided to combine both. Okay. Cotton is having good absorption, good, it is comfortable, good texture, good feel and all. And polyester, if polyester is having, is having qualities like wrinkle resistance and all, then and cotton do lack that property, right? So they decided to combine these two together to bring up all these characteristics or all these qualities together in a single garment. So that's why they created blended fabrics. Okay. It's not always necessary that you are, it is not mandatory that you should mix natural and synthetic or man-made fabric. You can also mix cotton and silk. Okay. Because cotton is basically a dull fabric. Is it shiny? Is it lustrous? No, it's a dull fabric, right? Cotton, linen, all these are dull fabric. But when it comes to silk, silk is a lustrous fabric, right? It gives a rich look. Am I right? So silk is a lustrous fabric. So in order to bring that lustrous property to along with the qualities of cotton, we can just mix silk and cotton together. Okay. And we can also mix synthetic fabric and cotton together to bring up the same property. So what will happen if we burn a cotton fiber? What will happen if we burn cotton fibers or cotton fabric? What will happen if we burn cotton, fabric, linen, silk, jute, whatever it is, whatever natural fabrics or fibers, what will happen? What will happen if we burn a piece of paper? What will happen if we burn a piece of paper?
Burn completely without any residue.
Yes, it will burn completely and it will turn into ashes. Am I right? So if we burn a piece of paper, that paper or that piece of paper will burn completely and then it will turn into ashes. So what is paper actually? Paper is made from cellulosic fibers. Okay, it's plant-based. It's made from cellulose. So what is cotton and linen? They are also cellulosic, right? So what will happen to cotton fibers or cotton fabric and linen fibers or linen fabric, jute fibers and jute fabrics? What will happen to those? If this is what happened to a piece of paper when it was burned, what will happen to fabrics, cotton fabric, linen fabric, jute fabric, or fibers of these? What will happen?
It will burn completely.
Yes, Meghna?
It will burn completely.
Yes, it will burn completely. Yes, of course. And it will turn into what? Yes, ashes. So when we burn these fabrics or fibers also, when we burn cotton, when we burn linen, when we burn jute, the smell produced at that moment is just similar to what we will feel when we burn a piece of paper, because all these are cellulose. Okay, and the ashes will be soft, just like how what we got when we burned a piece of paper. All these are cellulose. Okay, plant-based. So what will happen if we burn a piece of silk fiber or silk fabric?
It will burn and slowly melt.
Yes, it will burn slowly. Yes. What will happen? Whether it burns or melts.
It melts.
Not actually. It burns, okay, but it burns slowly. It burns slowly and it will produce a smell which is similar to the smell of burning hair, because silk and wool both are protein based fibers, and our hair is also one. Our hair is also protein based. Okay. So the smell produced when we burn a silk fiber or fabric and a wool fiber or fabric is just similar to the smell that is produced when we burn our hair, because all the three are protein based. Okay, or animal fibers. Okay. So now we know what will happen if we burn natural fibers, both cellulosic and both protein. Now we know that. So what about synthetic or man-made fibers and fabrics?
They will burn and slowly melt like the polyester.
Yes, they will melt actually, right? Because they are basically plastic. They are just plastic, guys. It's just plastic. Synthetic fabric is just another version of those polythene cover that you get from those shops. Instead of just melting and spreading it evenly, we just convert these plastic or that solution, that synthetic solution, into yarns, into these hair-like substance, and then we convert it into yarn, and then we just weave it into fabric. Okay. So the process or the reaction that happens when we melt a piece of synthetic fabric is just similar to what happens if we melt a plastic bottle or a polythene cover. Have you ever seen it? Just try to melt one piece, a small piece of polythene cover. It will just melt. It will just melt. And it will not get decomposed completely. Right? It will not get decomposed at all. It will be there on the surface of Earth forever. It will be there. It will be just there. Okay. So that is the difference between synthetic and natural fibers and fabric. Any questions so far? Any questions? Any questions? Anything? Okay. So what about blended fabrics? Anything can happen, right? It can melt based on the content. It can turn into ashes based on the content. If two natural fibers were blended together, then of course it will burn and will turn into ashes. If one natural fiber and one synthetic fiber were blended together, then the natural part will of course turn into ashes and there will be a melted part also, right? Yes. So that is what happens to blended fabrics. And now the next topic that we're going to discuss is we discussed about characteristics of fibers, synthetic fibers, natural fibers, and blended fabrics. You know, the leggings and all that you wear, those are blended fabrics actually. Cotton will be blended with some other thing, viscose or any other thing to give that particular fabric that stretchability, elastic property. So it is a blended fabric. And when it comes to sportswear and active sportswear, what is the characteristics of sportswear and active sportswear? What all properties are required there? Is it good? Is it okay if we make a sportswear garment or active sportswear completely out of synthetic fabric? Is it okay? Is it okay to create sportswear and active sportswear out of synthetic fabric or man-made fabric? Is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay, Raina? Is it okay? No, it's not okay. Okay. Why it is not okay? Because as we discussed just a few minutes before, we know cotton or natural fabrics lack certain properties, right? And when it comes to synthetic fabric, it lacks those properties which natural fabrics have, like breathability, comfortability, absorption, all. Okay. So what if we wear a polyester track pants, leggings and t-shirts for working out in gym? We will be sweating continuously, right? Because of all the hardcore workout session, we will be sweating really well. Am I right? So our whatever we are wearing, the gym wear, whatever we are wearing is supposed to absorb the sweat, permit air movement. Okay, it is supposed to absorb, it is supposed to have absorption, and it is also supposed to permit air movement. So that we will not feel irritated and uncomfortable. So we always, so the manufacturers or the designer will always go with blended fabrics. Not 100% cotton, not 100% synthetic. Okay, they will always go with blended fabrics. Okay. Is that clear? Okay, the same goes with active sportswear and sportswear. That is what happens. Because we know it's not good and it's not comfortable to wear a pair of jeans for jogging, right? Or gym. It's not comfortable at all. We will be stretching and it will restrict our body movements. It's not okay to wear all these jeans or formal pants or shirts or whatever it is. We are going to work out. If we are going to just chill and talk and for gossiping and everything, then it's fine only, right? We are just going to sit there just to make some friends and everything. So then it's okay if we wear a sari also. Am I right? But if we are really going for working out, then it's not okay. So blended fabrics will be used when it comes to sportswear, active sportswear. In case of lingerie also, in case of lingerie, 100% cotton is available, but for upgraded versions and all, designer upgraded versions and all, blended fabrics will be used mostly. Okay. Yes. So the next topic that we're going to discuss is underlying fabrics. So what does mean by underlying fabrics? We will be watching a video which explains it clearly, which will also show some examples and how to differentiate or different types of underlying fabrics are there. So that video will clearly show you how to differentiate between different types of underlying fabrics. So what is basically underlying fabric? What does the word says you? From the word itself, we can take out a definition. So what is it? What is mean by underlying fabric? Is this an underlying fabric? Is this particular garment made of underlying fabric? Is this underlying fabric?
No.
Yes. Underlying. What does mean by underlying?
We keep it under a garment.
Yes. That lies under the main fabric. That is what underlying fabric is. The term, the word itself, the same, right? Underlying, the fabric that lies below the main fabric. Under the main fabric, it's underlying fabric. So different types of underlying fabrics are there. Interlining is there, interfacing is there, lining is there. Lining is there. Like that, different types of underlying fabrics are there. So what is meant by lining? You all might know what is lining. Now I want you all to run. Just go and grab a piece of shirt. If it is possible, just pick your father's shirt and come. One of your kurti. If you have a skirt, bring it up. I will give you 5 minutes. Just go and grab these things. We will just discuss about. We will just do an activity. Okay, just go and pick it up.